I've arrived in the silver capital of the world, Mexico. Home to some of the most prolific silver mines, Mexico routinely produces more silver than any country on the planet. Dating back roughly 500 years, Mexico has a rich history of silver mining, and the metal itself is entrenched in Mexican culture. So much so that it was used as currency up until the 20th century. In today's economic environment, the silver story writes itself. The silver market transitioned to a deficit in 2021, and according to the Silver Institute, the supply deficit surged to 253 million ounces in 2022. The Silver Institute is predicting another exceptionally high supply deficit of more than 100 million ounces this year. From its 2022 low of around $18 an ounce, silver has performed well in recent months, touching nearly $26 an ounce in April. That's one of the reasons why I'm here in Mexico today.
Sierra Madre Gold and Silver Limited is a client and sponsor of PinnacleDigest.com, whose parent company owns shares of Sierra Madre Gold and Silver Limited. Please read the full disclosure at the end of this video.
Having recently completed the acquisition of the La Guitarra mine from First Majestic, Sierra Madre Gold and Silver has its sights set on becoming a near-term silver producer in Mexico. The La Guitarra mine is a high-grade, past-producing underground mine with an on-site production facility that operated as recently as the summer of 2018. Led by its CEO, Mr. Alex Langer, the team at Sierra Madre has collectively raised more than 1 billion Canadian for mining companies and has a history of wealth creation in Mexico through project discovery, advancement, and monetization. Also, the company's management has played critical roles in managing the exploration and development of more than 22 million ounces of gold and 600 million ounces of silver in combined reserves and resources. So let's go chat with Mr. Langer to find out how his team intends to bring the La Guitarra mine back into production. Alex, first off, thanks for having us. Mexico, you've always loved Mexico. You keep coming back here. Tell us what's so great about this specific region of Mexico.
Absolutely, Alex. Well, welcome back. First off, Mexico is the largest producer of silver in the world. And this area in particular has incredible infrastructure and a lot of significant mines in the region. There's Peñoles just down the street, actually right across from us. They have a joint venture operation there with a large Japanese conglomerate. Also, there's a Guerrero district just to the south of us and Los Filos mine by Equinox. So we're really in the heart of a really true mining district here in Mexico.
Talk about the deal. You know, this isn't an average, junior miners don't go out and make deals like this all the time. How did this come about? How did you guys acquire this?
Yeah, so we acquired the La Guitarra silver mine from First Majestic. Our management team had a history with the La Guitarra mine. We actually had it in production in a previous company, which was eventually sold to First Majestic. So we knew of it quite well. We had always discussed as a company, Sierra Madre, we wanted to become a junior mid-tier silver producer. And we'd always dreamed of acquiring a mine very similar to La Guitarra, some that could be in production quickly and could grow through ounces in the ground and through exploration. So it was always in the back of our heads. And we had a decent relationship with First Majestic, and they kind of believed in us and the team. And before you knew it, we were able to work together and joint due diligence, and they loved our other projects. So it was one of these scenarios where we were able to buy the mine for 35 million US, all in stock.
No cash?
No cash.
Is that sort of the high-level details of the deal? Basically,
Absolutely,
35
that's
million
in essence
stock?
it. Yeah, so it worked out to be about 69 million shares, deemed at 65 cents. We raised some money on top of that as well to kind of fund the mine for the next little while here. And that's the deal. There's also a 2% NSR that was granted to First Majestic, which we can buy back 1% for $1 million US.
Okay. Now, buying it from First Majestic, are you able to get some of their team? Like, do you have some of the same guys, or how's that
That's
going?
a great question. So First Majestic did just an amazing job of care and maintenance. This mine was put on care and maintenance in August of 2018. However, they were always ready to turn it on literally the next day. So they had a full team of 25 people, geologists, engineers, community relations, safety, you name it.
Just waiting for you to say go.
That was
someone
it.
to say go.
Exactly. We're fortunate enough that we've actually brought on all 25 of those people.
So what is the plan to get it up and running again? What's that timeline look like?
Yeah, we're kind of getting to the market about 2 years. Why we're saying 2 years is a few things. First off, we want to come out with a resource report. So that'll be coming out in the next 5 to 6 months. There's been over 300,000 meters of drilling done at La Guitarra. So we want to recalculate all that information, re-put it into the database, and come out with a significant number to the market. Then from there, actually, literally at the same time, we're working on a feasibility study. So we want to walk before we run. We want to make sure the mine plan is fully developed before we get into production. You don't want to start too quickly. You don't want to start production then have to stop because there's something wrong, especially with the mine plan. So that's why we've given that 2-year time frame. As you'll see in the video, so, the mill's running, the underground's in incredible shape. It could be sped up. We're not making any promises, but as things progress, and I think those timelines, there's an opportunity for those to be moved up.
That makes total sense to me. Now, before we get too far ahead, let's go back. Why did First Majestic take the mine offline back in 2018?
Sure, in 2018, the silver prices were obviously less. The mine was semi-marginal, which means their costs were between $12 to $18 for silver. Those all-in sustaining costs. But at the same time, they acquired another mine called San Dimas, and San Dimas is amazing. So it's producing, 1.5 million ounces a month, whereas La Guitarra was doing that annually. So they're such a big company, 33 million ounce annual production. So they have this beautiful new project that they're working through and getting a lot of value from that La Guitarra didn't really move the needle for the time, but again, they still love the project and they were always planning to turn it back on, just waiting for the right opportunity. And luckily for us, they felt working with us was the right opportunity.
What was First Majestic producing annually, roughly?
Yeah, approximately 1.2 to 1.5 million ounces of silver equivalent annually. And that was from this 500 ton per day facility that we have here. Now, the facility itself is in amazing shape. Actually, the flotation cells, which are behind you, could probably take about 800 tons per day. So our initial goal is to get up to about 500 tons per day, but then grow beyond that.
Since I've been here, there's been this overarching theme of exploration. That's what most people seem to be excited about, talking about. What are the plans there and what are you trying to do there?
So as much as we love near-term production and cash flows and generating cash flows, which is great, especially when you're talking about dilution for junior mining companies, this project is really special. We truly feel it is the largest undeveloped silver opportunity in Mexico. It's 39,000 hectares. The strike length is 5 kilometers by 15 kilometers, which is absolutely huge. And only a little bit has been touched. I did mention there's 300,000 meters of drilling, but it's really been in the production centers. So when we move over to the eastern portion, there's lots to explore, including the La Guitarra veins that we discussed earlier, not to mention numerous other colonial mines called Mina de Agua and El Rincon. So the plan is to generate cash flows, use those cash flows to build up a much larger resource deposit in the coming years.
Okay, so we know about the infrastructure, the roads, the power, the water. What about the processing facility we're standing in? Can you walk us through, what's here?
Absolutely. So this is a fully permitted 500 ton per day facility. We have the crushing and grinding circuits just up here, all the way down through the flotation, the thickening circuit, all the way to the presses, and then into the trucks. What that allows you to do is literally mine the ore, process it into a concentrate that is then sellable to whoever.
And from that point, it goes to the smelter?
Exactly.
And then after that, you've got silver.
You have silver, exactly. So you actually get paid at the gate, which is quite interesting. So they would come pick it up, and then from there, we get paid right away.
How much money will you need to turn this back online?
That's a good question. So it's not as much as people would think, especially starting an operation. This project itself, if you were to rebuild the mill and the facility, today would probably cost you $60 million just to build the mill. The underground development is incredible. You're probably looking at least another $30 million, not including some of the equipment that we have here as well. So the restart, we've kind of guided to the market 10 to 12 million, is right around the sweet spot. Having said that, the more time we spend here, the more equipment we have that's operational, I think that number is going to constantly come down. So, we just raised 10 million and, the budget's about 10 to 12, so we're pretty close. We're pretty close, and dilution is really a huge deal. Management still owns over 21% of this company, even after issuing 47% of the company to First Majestic.
Wow.
So we really truly believe in it. We put in about $1 million in the last round, so dilution is extraordinarily important, especially when you talk about junior mining companies.
Excellent. So between First Majestic and management, you guys are pushing about 70% ownership?
That's right, correct.
Now, as investors look out in the next 6 to 12 months, I always ask this kind of towards the end, what milestones should they focus on? How should they judge your performance from a fundamental standpoint?
We're going to be busy for sure. So I think from the fundamentals, definitely the first one will be NI 43-101 resource report here at La Guitarra and also at Tepic. That's going to give you a basis to value the company of just ounces in the ground, which keeps it quite simple. So I mentioned earlier, the value to replicate what's here. It didn't include any of that silver value as well. So whatever we find, it kind of adds to the value that we have. So from there, also then the feasibility study. So there are 2 major checkpoints when you're looking at mining companies and what you want to see: resources in the ground and the ability to mine it. Also at the same time, we'll be discussing upgrades to the mill and some of our production plans. So we're going to be busy.
Best of luck, man.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for having us.
Cheers.
Next, I'll be chatting with Sierra Madre's Executive Chairman and COO, Mr. Gregory Liller, who over the course of his career has played a key role in the discovery and development of more than 11 million ounces of gold and more than 600 million ounces of silver, combined reserves and resources. He also has a deep understanding of the mining industry here in Mexico. Greg, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having us. You've got quite a history with La Guitarra, right?
Yeah, back in about 2006,
Okay.
I had gone into my first retirement.
Yep.
I was involved with the Gammon Lake and Mex Gold. We had the Ocampo district and the El Cubo mine. And Ocampo I had managed from the first drill hole in the district all the way up to production, and that was a 12,000 ton a day open pit and a 1,200 ton a day underground mine.
Wow.
So yeah, I came out of that quite nice. So I decided to do a little bit of retirement.
How long did that last?
About a month. A guy I knew, that he was involved with Genco, and he said, well, why don't you come down and take a look at Guitarra? You might like it. There might be something you could do here, and we're looking for somebody to run the company. So I said, okay, as long as you pick up airplane, my hotel bill, more importantly, my bar tab,
Then I'm in.
I'll be happy to come down and take a look. So I came down on a lark.
Wow.
And basically,
In 06.
In 06,
Yeah.
And after about 2 days on the property, I started going, crap, this thing's bigger than Ocampo.
So is the second time going to be the charm?
I hope so. I mean, I left 15 years ago, and there's not a day gone by that I haven't thought about how the hell can I get this thing back.
Wow.
I said, bienvenidos a mi sueño. Welcome to my dream.
You know what? You don't get too many second chances in life, so this is a great
No.
opportunity.
No, as one of the first Majestic people put it, it's, you have something, you lose it, and if it comes back to you, you know it was meant to be.
Well, good luck, Greg. We're rooting for you guys, and we wish you all the luck.
No, thank you.
Sierra Madre Gold and Silver recently completed the most significant acquisition in its history with the purchase from First Majestic of the La Guitarra mine here in Mexico, with the goal of bringing the past-producing mine back online within 24 months. The company's targeted timeline may be advantageous if 2022's record demand for silver is any indication of things to come for the global market. This surge in demand also created a near record supply deficit for the precious metal. With its team of mining and exploration veterans, Sierra Madre appears well positioned to become the next near-term producer in the world's leading silver mining nation.